me to do an overview of all my foundations. So I'm going to do an overview of all my foundations. I'm going to let you guys know which foundation would be best for different skin tones, different skin types, stuff like that. Undertones, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and jump into it because I'm going to be going over a lot of different foundations and I don't want to take a lot of you guys' time. So the first foundation I want to talk about is my IMAN Stick Foundation. I already have a review on this, but basically this is a medium to full coverage foundation. It comes in a stick form like this, and it is a cream foundation, but it dries to a powder matte foundation. So it goes from a cream to a powder. And this would be the perfect foundation for someone who has oily skin or normal skin. I would not recommend this for someone with dry skin because it's going to magnify the dry patches of your skin. So I would recommend this to someone who has oily skin, normal skin, and it's a lot of different color choices, different undertone colors, so you can pretty much find a color that matches you. And you can find this at some drugstores, some Wal-marts, and definitely at ULTA. So if you're looking for a foundation with medium to full coverage, that's good for oily to normal skin, that finishes matte, go for this foundation. The next foundation I want to talk about is the Revlon Photoready Foundation. This foundation has a yellow undertone to it, and it pretty much is a medium coverage foundation. This foundation has shimmers in it, so it's really going to magnify your flaws, especially if you have bumps on your face. So I would recommend this to someone with normal to dry skin, especially dry skin, because it's going to give your skin a little bit of life. It's going to make it look a little bit more dewy. If you have oily skin, I think it's kind of overkill to use this foundation because it's going to make you look even more shiny. But by all means, if you like to look shiny, then go ahead and go for this foundation. I really like to mix my Revlon Photoready with my colorstay foundation, so I'm going to go into Revlon colorstay, and this foundation is perfect for somebody who is looking for a foundation that's going to last all day, that pretty much is going to stay put. This foundation is good for any type of skin, whether you have oily, dry skin, normal skin. There's a formulation for each and every skin type. Now this foundation tends to have a red tint to it, as the Photoready has a yellow tint to it. That's why I mixed the two of them to form the perfect foundation. It has the perfect consistency to me. I have that on my face right now and I think it looks very lovely. Now the colorstay foundation, it tends to dry quickly, so you have to work with it fast. But that's part of it being, you know, so longevity. I can wear this foundation from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. and it's still going to be on my face. It's a great foundation if you work long hours and you want a foundation that has a sort of light to medium coverage. The next foundation I want to talk about is the MAC Studio Fix Foundation. Now this foundation, I've learned if I use this more than 2 days in a row, it will break me out, which is not a good look. But this foundation is good for oily skin. It tends to have a fragrance to it, and fragrance tends to have other chemicals in it as well, which tend to irritate the skin. So if you have sensitive skin, I wouldn't use this. If you have oily skin and you're looking for something with medium to full coverage, I would go for this foundation. And just set it with a powder, or you could leave it dewy if you would like. But if you have oily skin, I would suggest setting this with a powder. The next foundation I want to talk about is the MAC Select SPF Foundation, and this has the SPF of 15 in it. This is perfect for dry skin or normal skin and you want to leave it kind of dewy. You can also set it with powder, but I think it's perfect to leave this foundation dewy. This foundation reminds me of the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, but it's a much cheaper alternative to that foundation. So if you can't afford the Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation, I would definitely try the MAC Select SPF Foundation, but only if you have dry skin. The MAC Fix Fluid is for oily skin, and this is for dry skin. And that has a light coverage to it. It doesn't have very much coverage because it's water-based. The next foundation I want to talk about is the Makeup Forever HD foundation. Now this foundation is not like my other foundations because this is supposed to be good when photographed under an HD camera or filmed under an HD camera. So I basically use this foundation when I go out. You can use this on an everyday basis, but I wouldn't because this is one of those foundations, it doesn't look too good in person, but it looks good when photographed or filmed. I don't know why that is, but it must have something to do with the HD formula of it. Now this foundation, it has a lot of color selection. So whether you're white as snow or dark as tar, you are going to find a foundation that is your color or pretty darn close to it. So really like this foundation for going out when you're being photographed. Now this next foundation is my Bobbi Brown Skin Foundation. I really like this foundation. I've raved about this foundation. The only thing I don't like about this foundation is the color. It's a little bit too red, but this is the perfect formula. It is exactly what the name says, a skin foundation. Your skin is going to shine through this foundation and it's going to look great. It's going to look dewy. Your skin's going to look like healthy, basically. And you can use this if you have dry skin, if you have oily skin, if you have normal skin. If you have oily skin, I would set this with a powder, but if you have dry skin, I would definitely leave this dewy to give you that healthy glow about your skin. It's going to even out your coverage, and it's a light coverage foundation. It's really not going to offer that much coverage, but it is going to even out your skin tone, and I think this is the perfect everyday foundation if you're looking for an everyday foundation. Now the last two products I want to talk about are powder foundations, because a lot of people forget about powders, but powders can be foundations. You don't have to wear a cream or a liquid foundation. You could just wear a powder foundation. And the powder foundation that I love is my Clinique Perfectly Real Compact. This foundation covers up any imperfections I have. It evens out my discoloration, and it's just a great foundation. Now, if you're worried about it looking a little bit too dry, you can always, use some some Fix Plus and spray it across your face, and this is going to make your makeup more healthy. It's going to make it look fresh. And the next powder foundation I want to talk about is my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. Now this doesn't really offer a lot of coverage. This is really for that person who has very good skin, who doesn't have discoloration, who just wants a little bit on your skin to give you a little glow, to give you a little bit of color. So this is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and it's going to add a healthy glow to your skin, and it has shimmers in it. So it's really pretty. You can also use this on top of a foundation to set it and give it a glow. So I hope that the overview of all the foundations that I have was helpful for you guys. If you have any further questions, feel free to ask. I will link all my reviews I have on each foundation below if you want extra information on it. But I just wanted to kind of compare and contrast the foundations I have. I'll leave some further information in the sidebar so you can kind of get an idea of how I would rate each foundation and all that good stuff. So stay tuned, and I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend.